And now, back to the Dr. A Show with your host, Dr. Will Aguila.
Summer is here, and many of you are traveling with the kids, or maybe you travel often for business. Either way, nothing wrecks the diet as much as traveling does. Well, our next guest has compiled the right tools and tips she gives to her celebrity clients and shares them with you for a guaranteed fun and fabulous trip. Ashley Koff is a nutritionist to the stars, including Molly Sims, Emily Deschanel, and Elizabeth Hasselbuck. She's also the contributing editor to Prevention and a regular guest on TV's The Dr. Oz Show. She herself clocks in over 50,000 air miles annually. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, why is traveling such a diet wrecker?
You know, it's not so much that we will say it is very often a diet wrecker. And I think, part of it is that whether or not you're traveling for business purposes or whether you're traveling for exciting things or whether you're traveling for not so great things, across the board, what traveling does is it adds an extra layer of throwing you off your routine. When we're home, even though I don't want people to be super control freaks about every component of their life and especially their food, you can control so many of the factors. And the issue is that when you're traveling, so much of it is out of your control. Now, we can turn that into an opportunity if we're prepared when we travel for a little bit, or we kind of have some knowledge so that we can navigate different scenarios. But I think that the lack of control and the element of surprise is really what can throw us, for sure.
And I totally agree with you, and I see it with my patients all the time. It's exactly what they say. Oh, I'm out of my routine. Does it start in the airport, or where does it start?
Well, it's interesting. I think it actually starts the day before and sometimes a couple of days before. I've had people who kind of go off their program leading up to travel because there's the mindset of, I'm going to be traveling. Now, there's a big difference between, there are many people that travel for work, right, and travel regularly versus people who are vacationing and thinking about their travel that way. If you travel for work and you're coming in to see me, my response is, work travel cannot be perceived as a vacation time. This is really, I actually put the onus on you when you're traveling for business. A lot of times you don't have to do the things that you have to do at home. I don't have to take my dog out in the morning. I don't have to be responsible for others. So I better get to the gym. I better order a good breakfast because it can come directly to my door, things like that. So that's going to be a little bit different than if you're traveling for a vacation. So I think it may start ahead of time, and it certainly starts before you're actually typically in the airport. I think that for a lot of us it starts the night before with what we're packing, maybe deciding even for good reasons to stay up later. Sometimes I stay up late and get stuff done so that in the morning I can actually get up early and exercise. So that things are, I'm like, okay, I want to have everything finished into the evening, and I'll even say to myself, hey, it's okay if you get less sleep. You can sleep on the plane. Well, my body isn't saying, hey, it's okay if I don't have any time to recover. I'll be totally great tomorrow, So then I throw myself off in the morning, and even though I did that good for me, get in a workout, my body's really fatigued, and it may mean that I walk into the airport saying, I don't usually have a latte, a mocha latte, but that looks delicious, or I'm really tired. It's great that they're serving donuts before I go through security, any of that stuff. So I think I think that there are behaviors, both good and bad, that can cause some challenges for us, for sure.
Well, that's a great point that you made there, because liquid calories can certainly add up when you travel, and it starts with a grande macchiato in the airport or the sodas and the beer. I mean, how do you account for these calories?
I think there are a couple of things going on. So first of all, there's added stress when we travel, and the advantage of liquid calories, if they were used properly, would be that they're directly absorbed into the body and don't require as much digestion. So I've been thrilled of recent to find things like when I was in an airport and was in a Starbucks and there was a greens juice, and I was like, this is amazing. I don't have time and can't find like a green salad that has clover sprouts and broccoli and celery. But the flip side of that is that these liquid calories don't require digestion and are easily absorbed. And so if they're all sugar, and especially if they're all stimulant, or even worse, if they're not water-based, we're not only not getting hydrated, but we're adding calories that are going right into the body without any required digestion. So there are real challenges there. And, part of the problem also is that they often are cheaper than the food that you would have to buy. So I've had people say to me, well, I got a grande macchiato because I figured it would fill me up and I didn't want to spend the money on a salad. So, there's a huge, and I'm not even saying that the salads in airports, they're getting better quality, but there's a huge mind change. So one of my tips is I use BYOE, bring your own everything. And the idea behind that is really that if you bring great food, and I am not saying great health food here, I'm saying great food. For example, I tell people, if you think you love a Reese's cup, if you are sidelined by a great chocolate chip cookie or a Reese's cup or anything like that, bring that. Don't bring just cut-up cucumbers and expect that cut-up cucumbers, having those in your bag, are going to make you turn your head to the Reese's cup and go, oh, I don't want you. I've got my cucumber slices. Now, if you have your cucumber slices and you have your Reese's cup, now you're in a win-win situation, So I think it's really important. I mean, I actually go, I don't know about you, but it's the one time I always say to myself, go out and get your favorite meal and get it to go, and that might be an amazing slice of pizza. It might be a great, bowl of a stir fry or, great Mexican food or something like that. I always take great food on the plane. And the reason I do that is, number one, it makes everybody jealous. Number two is I know I'm going to enjoy it. And when I'm enjoying it, I don't even have to think about anything else that's in the airport. I might give a pause to say, wonder what, those poor suckers are eating, that kind of a thing. But, you turn around and you say, this is great. I'm so excited to be enjoying this. And what that enjoyment does is it really breaks through the boredom and the feeling, of stuck with these are my options that often leads us to a mind space of saying, well, I may as well go ahead and have this, that kind of thing.
And it decreases your stress. It also decreases your stress that you're going to have plenty of when you're traveling. So.
Right, and another thing that decreases, I was just talking about, and I get the Justin's Nut Butter cup that's like the Reese's cup, so it's organic, it's got great dark chocolate. But, cacao, chocolate, magnesium magnesium is Mother Nature's muscle relaxant, so it's this great mineral.
Yes.
And I travel with chocolate, I travel with cacao nibs. I also do it from a portion control standpoint because when I'm out of my chocolate, I know I'm done. But I will take that. It gives me a stimulant boost that's non-caffeine, gives me the magnesium that keeps my motility going. I love it. And I do also travel. I travel with packets of Natural Calm, which is a magnesium supplement, just to keep that regularity and that de-stress because the best we can do these days, especially with the, airport travel and things like that, is, at best break even with the stress levels. Most of the time we're running a little bit behind. But if we can arrive feeling almost as good or even sometimes a little bit better than when we left, we've really come out very far ahead.
Now, how about what nutrients and vitamins much you get when you're traveling? Which are the really important ones that you cannot skip? You have to get them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have a 100% line I won't even say it's in the stand. This is where I 100% draw the line. And that is, I don't focus as much on what are the nutrients I need to get. We've talked about the magnesium. I can mention potassium. I don't as much focus on that as I draw the line, and I will not put in anything into my body that is going to do me harm, that is a nutrition deducto, if you will. So I leave all the chemistry lab projects in the chemistry labs. And I turn around and say to myself, if this is a day that I don't happen to get any chlorophyll in, might happen, my body's going to be okay. If I don't happen to get, some of my B vitamins in, my body is going to be okay, these sorts of things. But if in the name of either availability, convenience, anything else like that, I load up on GMOs, artificial colors, fake fats, artificial sweeteners, my body, which is already, feeling a little bit more, having a little bit more challenges because of what travel does to our body, whether it's an airplane where we're sitting and getting the air pressure, or whether it's a train where we're just sitting for a long time period and people are sneezing and coughing around us, or whether it's a car where we're, again, sitting for a long period of time. My body's already having a little bit of a tougher day. If I give it things that it doesn't quite recognize as well and doesn't help it work as efficiently and as effectively as just straight up food, I've done it no favors. So the first line has to be give it what it recognizes. I call that better quality choices, and I call it being a qualitarian. And that's really key. In terms of what nutrients we need, the goal we aim for, I like to try to get one of each color from the rainbow, and that means, if I have tomatoes or tomato sauce, I'm not worried. I don't need to have strawberries. I don't need to have raspberries. If I can find green somewhere, I'm happy with it. If I can squeeze some lemons into my water and get some yellow, if I can, have potato or banana or something that gives me some potassium, I'm happy. So, I try really with the colors. Then I really pay attention to trying to not have too much of any one nutrient. So I try to balance out some carbohydrates, some protein, some healthy fats.
Great advice, Ashley. Tell us a little bit about your books and how our listeners can find you.
Great. So all my travel information is actually available on a website that we've created, and that's at blissmo.com. That's BLISSMO.com. And my website and all my information is at ashleykoffApproved.com.
Ashley, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much. I'm going to be a much better traveler thanks to you.
Thanks. Happy travels. Take care. Bye-bye.
That's our show for today. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us on thedrashow.com and also on Facebook and Twitter. Until next week, this is Dr. A wishing you a healthy and happy week.